News from overnight, actually, MakeMyTrip and Ibibo Group are merging in an all-stock deal. So South Africa's Naspers and China's Tencent Holdings are selling Ibibo Group to MakeMyTrip in exchange for an issuance of new shares by MakeMyTrip. We caught up with the two young Turks behind this big deal in the startup arena. Listen in.
At the end of this transaction, MakeMyTrip MMYT will own 100% of both GoIbibo and Redbus, in return for which Naspers will own 40% of MYT, thereby becoming our single largest investor. The closing is subject to a couple of approvals. Noteworthy among that is the Competition Commission of India approval. Which will take its own due course. It could take up to a quarter, depending on the commission.
More than competition as a challenge, the bigger one is that we have to compete with the offline market, or rather, we have to bring the offline market online. So if you really look at the key segments that we operate in, the accommodation segment that we operate in is just 18% penetrated online.